In the vast universe of theological concepts, nestled within the constellation of Calvinism, twinkles a mysterious star, supralapsarianism, a term of Latin origin. It's a concept that's as complex as its pronunciation, yet it's also as intriguing as the cosmos itself. Supralapsarianism, in essence, is a subcategory within the broader Calvinist theology, named after the reformer John Calvin. This theological viewpoint places a significant emphasis on the divine decree and the doctrine of predestination. It's a perspective that posits God's decree of election occurred before the fall of man. Hence the prefix supra, meaning above or before. At its core, supralapsarianism explores the profound question of divine sovereignty and human freedom. It invites us to ponder on the paradox of predestination and free will, seeking to reconcile these seemingly contradictory concepts in a harmonious theological symphony. Supralapsarianism, a concept that has intrigued theologians for centuries, but what sets it apart from its theological siblings? To truly understand the uniqueness of supralapsarianism, we must compare it to the other stars in the theological sky. Imagine a tree, a majestic oak standing tall in a forest. The root of this tree is the divine decree of God, the source from which all else grows. The branches are the different theological interpretations, each spreading out in its own direction, each offering a unique perspective. We start with Arminianism, which, like a branch reaching towards the sunlight, emphasizes the free will of man in the grand scheme of salvation. It suggests that God's decree is contingent on foreseeing who will choose to accept grace. This branch greets the warmth of the sun, a beacon of human agency in the divine plan. Switching our gaze, we find a different branch, one that stretches sideways, tracing the horizon. This is infralapsarianism. It proposes that God's decree of election is subsequent to the fall of man, making it a response to human sin. It's a branch that grows in the shadow of the fall, a testament to the belief in God's reactive justice. But then there's a branch that grows downwards, burrowing into the earth. This is supralapsarianism. It asserts that God's decree of election precedes the fall of man, making it a part of God's original and proactive plan. A branch that grows against the norm, it symbolizes the belief in an all-encompassing divine decree. A narrative where the fall is not an unfortunate event, but a part of God's grand design. So we have three branches, each unique, each a different interpretation of the root, God's divine decree. Arminianism with its emphasis on human choice, infralapsarianism with its belief in God's reactive justice, and supralapsarianism with its conviction that the fall is part of God's original plan. As we can see, supralapsarianism offers a distinct perspective in the theological landscape, but what does it mean for our understanding of divine decree? Now, when we delve deeper into supralapsarianism, we find it influencing our understanding of divine decree and predestination. This theological viewpoint proposes that God's decree of election precedes his decree to permit the fall of man. It's akin to a chess master meticulously planning several moves ahead, knowing the outcome before the game even begins. This perspective, in turn, shapes our interpretation of biblical text. It suggests that God, in his omniscience, had a divine plan even before the creation of the world. It puts forward the idea that God's decree to save some and condemn others was made prior to the decision to allow sin into the world. It's a bit like an author penning a novel, knowing full well the fate of each character even before they are introduced. This concept has far-reaching implications that continue to fuel theological discourse. It challenges us to re-evaluate traditional notions of divine decree and predestination, pushing us to ponder the depth of God's sovereignty and the breadth of his grand design. So, supralapsarianism paints a unique picture of divine decree, but have you ever wondered how this interpretation could reshape your own understanding of theology? As we conclude our journey into the enigma of supralapsarianism, it's time to ponder over a provoking question. We've explored the divine order of God's decrees, contrasted it with other theological concepts, and delved deeper into its nuances. Remember, supralapsarianism proposes that God's decree for salvation and damnation preceded the creation of humankind. So I leave you with this. If God's decree is as supralapsarianism suggests, how does that change your perspective on the nature of God's will and the course of human destiny? This question may lead to tough answers that not everyone is ready to hear or grapple with. Farewell and God bless.